Well, hello everybody. How is everyone doing? Before we start, let me just check if everything is working properly and if my microphone is also working well. And after I do that, we can start. So give me just a little bit of time and I think we are going to be golden. Okay, by the looks of it, everything is good. So, hello everybody, my name is Kirklin and welcome back once again to Euro Season 10 Welcome Race. I already said this, but my name is Kirklin, you may also know me as Dino from the PCF2, and yeah. Today we're going to do the Welcome Race, which is going to be set in Qatar. It's going to be a 50% race around this new circuit added to the new game. That's also going to be something new. We are celebrating today's race in order to celebrate the release of the new game and to also set us up for the new season of Euro, which hopefully is going to be very exciting. It has been quite a while since I've commentated last, so I am gonna be a little bit rusty at it, as I'm already repeating myself. So that's already a really good sign, but hopefully in due time, or at least in a few minutes, I can get in the groove again, as it has been quite a few months. Anyway, we have a lot of popular drivers that are going to be racing today on this circuit. We also do have crossplay enabled, so some of the names might be pretty common for the regulars in Euro, so some pretty famous names in PC like Jack Dempsey, Ryan Grob, and then from PS I think Aurelian is gonna be racing, but I'm not sure. I haven't really checked in the line of the of the PS drivers, but of course we are going to see everything in the game, which we are going to go in right now. I think everyone should be in the game nearly. So in the Red Bull we have Jack Dempsey and Ryan Grob. In the Ferrari we have Ennis and Luke Kloch. In the Mercedes we have Marvin Murr, also a pretty famous name in PC if anyone knows. And alongside him is going to be Eurocrack. Alpine is going to be Blurix and Bad Luke. In the McLaren we are still waiting for the two drivers. In the Alfa Romeo we're going to have Barry Kruger and Bill Bass, also one pretty famous name in PC. In the Aston Martin we're gonna have Trix and Camelons. In the Haas we have Quil Pavlokovic and Win Antrex. In Alpha Tower we have Snape and Joan, and then we are still waiting for the Williams drivers to come on into the lobby. I've said before, but we do have a 50% race around the Qatar circuit with a short qualifying which will set the grid for the race. As always, it's gonna be 18 minutes. And it should be the same as last year's game, where you can go with any tire that you want, and then in the race you have a free choice of tire to choose. Of course, this game is made a little bit differently. It has changed the fact how the tires work, how the downforce works, how the car handles, and basically they changed everything about the game handling wise. Overall, my opinions on it, it's greatly improved than the last game, and if you want to buy this game by just better handling, please do it. It's way better. You can go full throttle in third gear, so basically going earlier on the throttle is not a problem in this game. I mentioned that the tires work differently in this game, so basically you every single tire has its own heat threshold, so to say. So every single tire is going to have its own optimal temperature. For example, the hards are going to be optimal at, I don't know, 95 degrees, or actually 110 degrees. The mediums are going to be optimal at 100, and then the softs maybe at 95. It's pretty new. You can also heat them up according to the brake temperature. So in theory, you can heat up the tires in the wet. So you can basically heat up the dry tires in the wet, which is very interesting indeed. Another thing that changed handling-wise is the downforce. you can go flat out on nearly every single fast speed corner with how the car is set up. So basically, you're gonna feel a little less downforce in lower speed and then high downforce in higher speed, which aligns or corresponds to how real life actually goes. So for example, some fast speed corners like Cops, Baggett's and Beckett's, Jeddah for example, all of those corners will nearly be flat out. So it is a big positive. Qatar being a very fast circuit with a lot of medium speed and high speed corners, you're gonna see that in action today. Of course, because it's a new track, I don't really know a lot about it. The only things I really know about it is that it's mostly a MotoGP track. It first debuted in 2021 to make amends for some other tracks that couldn't be in that calendar in that season, for example Russia, and that was the first time that F1 ever raced in Qatar. It wasn't on the calendar on 2022, but it made a deal for 2023 onwards, so we better get inclined with this track because we are gonna see a lot of it. And honestly, in my experience, it's a pretty fun track. I don't think it's gonna be pretty good for racing, but in terms of qualifying, I think we are gonna see a lot of very close competitors today in this welcome race. Or at least, that's what I hope so. Of course, we're all gonna see that as we head on to the qualifying session, and it is going to be daytime dry. I mean, of course it's gonna be dry because we are in a desert, so nothing really too uncommon here, so to say. But I think only one driver joined. It was... oh, some people actually switched seats in other cars. I think Johan actually switched to McLaren, which he wasn't before, as well as Barry Kruger, who joined afterwards. As we see, the AlphaTauri of Mitch Snape going first guy out on track. So, what's also new about this game, as we wait for the first lap to start, the ERS levels are way easier, or ERS is way easier to spend, and not really that easy to gather back. So if you're not too careful, you basically might not have enough ERS for the rest of the race, and you might not be able to attack. And on this track, I think it might be pretty good if you try to save a little bit of it. Because there's not really a lot of overtaking opportunities on this track, as you can see on the map on the right hand side at the bottom in the corner. There's only really the main straight that you can overtake with the one DRS zone. So if you really wanna go for any overtakes, that's your best place. In terms of setups, I think we are gonna see a lot of people running pretty high downforce setups because this is mostly made out of corners, pretty high-speed corners, along with that. So I think that's gonna be the optimal range, probably around 40 to 44 front wing and rear wing, but I'm not honestly pretty sure. I haven't really drove this track yet, but. Anyways, we're gonna go on board with Mitch Snape for the first lap of this qualifying session, and let's see how he is going to do. Of course, the corner cutting is set on strict, but let's see what he can do as he is crossing the line to start his lap. The first corner is pretty... it's very deceiving. You mostly wanna brake very little and then just go full flat out at the exit, as well as in turn 2. Turn 3 is of course flat out as he goes into turn 4, which is a pretty medium speed corner. You wanna go 5th gear for the whole part. 5th or 6th gear, of course, corresponding to how much speed you have. And we already have a penalty and Mitch spinning, so that's already a really good start. A penalty for Joe and a 5th place penalty for making a collision with Arjen Bilbas. As we're gonna continue our lap with Trix here in the Aston Martin as he is in sector 2 right now. I think this is probably the most difficult sector of the track because it's... oh, Bilbas also got a 5th place grid penalty. Things are already heading off the good side. as Trix is in sector 3, all of these corners are nearly flat out. You just wanna go in 6th gear, but still remain in full throttle. And I think he made those corners pretty well. And then the final corner, you wanna go to 4th gear, and then at the exit just go full flat out. Maybe short shift to 5th to make your car a little bit stable, because the track is a little bit too bumpy. So it can unsettle your car, but not too much. As Trix sets the current provisional pole with a 122.3, but I think that is gonna be beaten. I heard some people here, like Drake Dempsey, did a lap time in the 20s, but of course we've yet to see. As Ennis beats that lap time by 2/10 with a 122.0. And I see a lot of people are still crashing in Sector 3. That might be Bill Bass and Joanne again, as Ryan Gropp sets the provisional pole with a 20.8. So already the lap times are varying in terms of the gap, which honestly we don't really want to see that. We want to see the grid as close as possible, but it's not up to me, unfortunately. But let's see here, actually, with the penalties. I think it's only Joanne and Bill Bass. Yes, both of them are gonna have 5 place grid penalties to the race. So wherever they end up in qualifying, they're gonna go 5 places below, which is very unfortunate. I don't know what caused it, probably maybe just blocking, but I'm honestly not too sure. As we're on board with Crack here in the Mercedes, let's see what lap time he is going to do. He's one of the only guys that is on a lap now. Behind him I think also Jake Dempsey is on lap, but he has decided to abandon it, and he is gonna go for another one at a later date. Of course, all of these drivers have 18 minutes to set the quickest lap possible, and I think we are already at around 13 minutes, as Jake Dempsey also decides to abandon his run and go into the pit lane. I think only 3 sets of softs are available in this qualifying session. I think that actually is between what you choose before you enter the session, because there's different setups in terms of the tires that you can choose. You can choose balanced, so you have like 3 sets of softs in the qualifying session and 1 set of mediums, or maybe you can just have all 4 sets of softs in qualifying, and then and then I think 2 sets of mediums in the race. But I'm honestly not sure how that works. I just usually go for balance all the time, and that's usually the best strat for every single track. While we're on board with Quill Pavlakovic, I'm gonna also speak about other new things about the game. So first off, Qatar, this is actually one of the only tracks that has been laser scanned. So this track is as accurate as possible, and not like all of other tracks on this game. I think only Austria is laser scanned, but I'm not sure. I think someone needs to confirm that, because I haven't I haven't confirmed it. And let's speak more about the handling. The tire degradation is aggressive, to say the least, in this game. Basically, you're gonna feel the grip of the tires falling off already at like 20%. The softs can last way longer than in previous games, so basically you can get them to around half point of the race, which is really good. Not like last game where you only could do like 5 laps and they were already dead. So now you can do like half of the race with them, but you have to keep in mind that the tire degradation really wears them off. And I'm gonna continue with that speak, as Quill Pavlakovic said the new PB of a 121.7, but unfortunately stays where he was. Let's see who else is on the lap. I think Arjen Bilbas just started lap. So let's get back into the tire discussion. So basically, when your tire goes to 25% wear, the tire just starts to drop off, and you are gonna feel no grip. And that basically corresponds to every single tire, all the way from softs to the wets. And you're gonna see a drop off in pace probably around a second to 2 seconds each lap, of course depending on how the driver is going to adapt to the worn tires. But basically, you're gonna lose a lot of time. So because of that, I think we are gonna see a lot of different strategies being played in league racing. So we might see some people going from mediums to hards, which was a normal strategy in the previous game. We might see some people doing 2 stops maybe. We don't know. Basically, this has opened up a whole can of worms for everyone to dig their hands in and try stuff out. But I think the most strategies we're gonna see are a medium to soft or soft to medium. As Arjen Bilbas crosses the line with a 121.703, puts himself on the podium positions. Provisional P3 currently, as we have, I think, 9 minutes remaining in session. We have yellow flags in Sector 3, so we cannot see, and it is 8 minutes and 50 seconds. So not a lot of time for people to settle up, but that should be enough for some people to do provisionally 2 more laps. Hopefully. And yeah. Before we head on into anything else, we're gonna go on board with one of the guys that hasn't set a lap time yet, for example Jake Dempsey, who has just started the lap. Of course, the PC F1 Season 9 champion, sliding a little bit at the exit into turn 1, which was very interesting indeed, and just going to the lines, just going as far as he possibly can, but still not extending. And we're gonna take this time, while we are on board with him, to... Oh, he invalidated. That's a shame. Let's then go to Loch. At least that's how I think his name is pronounced. I haven't seen any of these PS guys, so I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing any of these names wrong. I haven't really kept in line with the PS side of things of Euro. So I don't know any of these guys. I don't know any of these guys. I just know the PC guys. But let's go on board with Trix, and I just want to check if the audio is good. And hopefully it is. If anyone's in chat listening, can you please just tell me if I need to do anything, like maybe up the game volume? I think I actually need to up the game volume. I'm gonna up it by 1 click. It's mandatory we do this now, and we don't do this later in the race. Because we have time right now. Anyways, I think 1 click is gonna be enough. If it's not gonna be enough, you can just tell me in chat and I'm gonna improve it. But in terms of how qualifying stands, so Ryan Gropp is currently on provisional pole with a 120.8. Behind him is Marvin Murr with a 121.1. So currently he is going to be on the first row of the grid if no one improves. Ennis in the Ferrari is in third position. Bilbas is P4. Pavlovic is in P5. Blur is in P6. Barry P7. Crack P8. Adam P9. And Trix in P10. So currently looking pretty good, but I think Dempsey is probably gonna do something like a 20.5. So I think he's just sandbagging. We saw him. I think he was doing PS before PC. Probably he was pretty dominant there as well. I think he was battling with Aurelian, if I remember correctly, and then backed out of that fight to move to PC, and then won the Season 9 championship. I think he's sandbagging. He's an esports driver. There's no way that he's not gonna do a lap time. Maybe he's just pushing a bit too much. Thank you Gio, Marvin, and Nobody J for saying that the audio is good. I really appreciate it. And hopefully you enjoy the stream. So, as I said before, everyone's still in the pit lane, 5 minutes remaining. We are gonna see a lot of people going out probably around the 3-minute mark or 2-minute mark. And we're gonna see all of the final lap times being done. Of course, some of the people probably don't have fresh softs, so some of the laps are gonna be done on used softs, which is gonna lose you a little bit of time, but not too much. Of course, if you made mistakes in some corners, you can gain all of that back, even on used tires, so it shouldn't be that big of a problem. But as we wait for other people to head out for their final runs, let's talk about the game a little bit more. So, of course, the new thing about this game as well is the story mode, the Breaking Point 2. Honestly, in my opinion, it's pretty good. There's a lot left to be desired, a lot of things that could have been done better, of course. But cutscenes are nice. I think the plot was pretty solid. It wasn't too bad. The objectives were barren. I really wanted there to be a little bit more. The bonus objectives as well probably had no use. I really hoped that there would be multiple endings with the performance and the reputation levels that they introduced, but it's just a little bit disappointing. But honestly, in my opinion, it was better than Breaking Point 1. But for some people, I can see how it could be worse than Breaking Point 1 and how some people could absolutely hate it. But I think for beginners that are just entering into the F1 world, I think Breaking Point is a nice introduction. And that's probably what we need to base it as. A introduction to the series. The other new thing about the game is F1 World. Honestly, I haven't really delved a lot into it, but it seems pretty unbalanced. But honestly, not too bad. I like the idea of securing liveries, like special liveries, in that aspect, so you have to do a little challenge to unlock those little liveries. For example, very recently, I think last week, you could unlock the McLaren Triple Crown livery by doing an event in F1 World. So if you did that event, you unlock the little livery for my team. So I think that's a pretty nice thing to do. The managing aspect with all of the parts that you can upgrade and whatnot, with all of the management and stuff like that. I do like it. I do like management in any game. That's why I love F1 Manager a lot. So that's a nice little detail, but I think there was also a lot to be desired. Of course, like I said before, I didn't delve into it too much, but I think it needs to be a little bit more balanced, because my car is like level 400 and I have unlocked races for level 150. So maybe scaling could be good. I don't know. I'm not a game dev, so I don't know. My decisions usually are pretty bad, so thankfully I'm not a game dev, because I would make horrible decisions and probably not good decisions. Anyway, let's take that chat a little bit out of the window, as we see a lot of people actually out on track, nearly everyone actually. And let's see, who do we want to watch first? I think Liam just started a lap in the AlphaTauri, so let's see what he can do currently in P11 with a lap time of a 122.1. If he messes up his lap, he is gonna have just enough time, I think, to set another run, as we see our first retirement of the session, which is Adam Bradshaw, I think. Again, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing any of these names wrong. He is our first retirement of the session, but he is in a pretty good position in P6, but if any people improve, there's not a huge gap, so he might be demoted. As we see Liam going wide into the corner. I don't know what turn that is, probably like turn 10 or 11 or 12 or 13 or 14, maybe even 15, I don't know. But he went wide, still improved by 3/10, which is pretty good, going flat out in 7th gear. Usually you wanna go to 6th gear at that corner, but he still takes it very nicely, as well as the penultimate corner. Let's see how he goes into the last corner, 4th gear, flat out at the exit. Doesn't short shift. I think this is gonna be a pretty solid lap time of a 121.573. 16 thousandths behind Adam Bradshaw. I think that's just gonna stay how it is. He doesn't have any battery left to do another lap, so still a pretty good position. Let's see who's next to cross the line. I think it's his teammate, Mitch Snape, who is starting a lap. A Ferrari of Ennis, I think that is, just crossed the finish line. I think he's also starting his lap. A Haas of Quil Pavlakovic also starting, as well as the Alpine actually doing a lap of a 122.1, puts himself into P12. Not a really good position, but I think it's pretty solid. Camelot is gonna cross the line with a 123.0, as we have a current provisional pole of Ryan Grubb. He remains on pole position with a 120.5. We see Marvin Murr actually going to P2, overtaking Bill Bass with a 120.982, which is a very good lap time. Jake Dempsey is gonna cross the line, but he's not gonna take pole position today, as he is only 33 or 34 thousandths behind. But it is gonna be a Red Bull front row, as it looks like nothing changes from real life to the game. Looks like we're gonna have probably a pretty dominant race between Jake Dempsey and Ryan Grubb, but at least a positive. They are pretty close to one another, so maybe we can see a battle. Maybe, hopefully. Ennis is next to cross the line. Is he gonna improve? No, he stays where he is, down by 3/10. Very unfortunate for the Ferrari driver, and he is the last guy to cross the finish line. So nothing changes. Red Bull still dominant even in the game, which is not what you want to see. And hopefully we're not gonna have a dominant race today. If we are gonna have a dominant race today by the Red Bulls, at least give us a battle between both of them. Come on, please. We at least wanted that. But anyways, the final positions for the race is Ryan Grubb on pole position, Jake Dempsey right behind him, securing the front row for Red Bull. Marvin Murr is in P3 with Bill Bass in P4 for the second row. Barry Kruger and Blur in the third row, Anna Brashow and Chris Liam, or Anna Brashow and Blur in the... I'm getting myself confused. I think it shows that I haven't commentated in a few months. We're gonna continue with the standings in just a bit. Where were we? Blur and Anna Brashow on the fourth row, Chris Liam and Pavlakovic in the fifth row, Crack and Trix in the sixth row, Bad Luke and Joanne in the seventh row, Win and Trix Camelons in the eighth row, Snape and Mike in the seventh row, and Locke is unfortunately gonna be lost with no times being set. We also still have those penalties with Joanne, so he's probably gonna start last in P19, and of course Bill Bass, who is currently in P4, but he's gonna start P9. Let's get the race director before anything, and let's get into the race. This is gonna be pretty interesting. At the front, it is a huge gap of 4/10, but I think in the mid-pack, or in the midfield, should I say, is a pretty nice gap. Everyone is like within 5/10, which is very nice to see. So hopefully we can at least have a pretty nice battle for points. That's all I hope for. But of course we're gonna see. And we have a daytime race. Not really realistic because the real life race is probably gonna be at nighttime, but I think it may make sense. There is a bug among all other bugs in this game. There's a bug in this game which basically when it's nighttime there's a glitch which reduces your FPS by half. So basically, I don't know. For me, I'm running 60 FPS in the day. I can run higher, but my PC is crap, so I don't really want to risk it. But it basically reduces it to half. And you run 30 FPS at nighttime. It's a glitch, hopefully it's gonna be fixed soon. Pretty soon. I think there's a patch actually coming out tomorrow, so maybe it's gonna fix it then. I don't know. But we're gonna go ahead with the race. We don't have any formation laps, and it's 5 red lights, and we are on the way for the first Qatar race in Euro, as well as the welcome race. I think Ryan Grubb actually gets a pretty good start. He also is on the outside, but Jake Dempsey is gonna take the inside line, and he is gonna take the first position. No one is gonna attack him, as behind we have some carnage, but I think Ryan Grubb is gonna be under pressure from Marvin Murr. as I think he's losing a little bit of time on the straights here, as behind Barry and Blur going side by side, but Blur just braking a little bit early. He does one battle here in these early stages of the race. We also see some people going side by side in the mid-pack. I think that's a Williams and an AlphaTauri, but thankfully everything is safe. No major incidents happening, and this is what I was talking about. Many different strategies we're gonna see in this race. A lot of people on hards, a lot of people on mediums, and only 2 people on softs. We also have a yellow flag. It is bad luck in the Alpine. One of the only guys on softs having a spin in sector 2. I don't know if it was contact or if it was made by his own accord. But let's not look into that now, as Catalans gets a 5-second place a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags, probably for an illegal overtake. And no one really going into the pit lane, so everyone's been taking it pretty safely. Everyone's front wings are intact. Of course, we have standard damage on both fronts, I believe. I'm honestly not sure about that. As Rangrob is under pressure from Marvin Murr, who tried to go around the outside, but Rangrob just closed the door, not leaving any room for the Mercedes driver. As we have another yellow flag into turn 1, it is unfortunately Enes who spins in turn 1. As we see also Barry on those softs, using them as much as possible to gain time to the front runners, and currently I think has the best pace compared to everyone. Drake Dempsey and Ryan Grob are currently on hard, so they are going to go pretty late into the race. It is going to be interesting to see if they're going to go with medium tires at the end, or if they're going to stretch even longer to go for the soft tires. Of course, we're all going to see pretty soon. But so far so good. We've not seen any major incidents, only 2 spins with Ennis and Bad Luke. I think Locke also spun, but I think he maybe actually just went into the pit lane. I honestly didn't pay attention. I don't know. And only 2 penalties. Scratch that. 3 penalties. That was the perfect timing. But let's see here, let's go on board still with Barry Kruger. Is he gonna be able to gain any time to the guys ahead? He is using a lot of his battery. He is at 50% as Brian Grob sets past lap, but Barry takes that back with a 1:24.6. You of course get a additional point for the fastest lap if you are... Actually, I think if you're anywhere. This is not like real life where you need to be in top 10. I think Hero has that you can be anywhere, and if you set fast lap you gain that extra point. But Barry was probably looking to go for a move, but just way too far behind. As we see the Alpine of Blur track extending quite a bit just behind. Let's try and go a little bit behind to the midfield. Let's see how these guys are faring with Quill Pavlakovic and Bilbas. Bilbas actually having a pretty good race, starting in P9 because of the penalty, and already in P6 starting on hards as well, overtaking 2 people on mediums, so already showing that he has some of the pace for the front running pack. But he is 2 seconds to the next closest car ahead of the Alpine of Blur, but maybe he can gain that time back? I don't know. But what is for certain, when he does go for new tires and new fresh tires as well, he is probably gonna have that pace, as DRS has been enabled this time. If you don't know the rules of Formula 1, DRS is opened on lap 3, and on this track you can only use it on the start finish straight. But I didn't mention this previously, but as you can see, DRS is very OP as Pavlakovic goes down the inside of the Alfa Romeo driver, and he is gonna make it stick. I think Bilbas wanted to go around the outside, but Pavlakovic closes the door, not leaving any room for the Alfa Romeo driver. But I think he is using a little bit of ERS, but lifting off the throttle, wanting to stay behind of the Haas. I think he's actually using automatic ERS usage. Or is everyone using automatic ERS usage? I'm honestly not sure now, but it's stuck at medium. I don't know if that's a spectator thing, because that's the first time I'm seeing of this. As the Williams... Oh, we've caught Adam Brasho in the act as he spins right behind the Alfa Romeo of Bilbas. That is very unfortunate, but let's hope that he can gain those places back. as Ennis gets a 3-second time penalty. I think we should have expected this, that a lot of people are gonna get penalties. It is pretty easy to track extend this track, which is a little bit and I think we missed Drake Dempsey actually taking the lead of the race. I completely missed that. As now Marvin Murray is gonna battle for P2. I think we're gonna go 3 wide into turn 1. This is gonna end in carnage as Marvin Murray has the inside line. Is he gonna make it stick? He's still side by side with Jake Dempsey. Around the outside, he has the medium tires. He should have the better grip, but Jake Dempsey doesn't leave any space around the outside, so he has to back off. Now Ryan Gropp is taking that. He's taking that opportunity round the outside on hard tires. Oh, leaving no room as well. The Red Bull's playing very dirty here with the Mercedes driver. I think 21 is playing here again, but that was a very nice battle nonetheless between Murray, Ryan and Dempsey. Just not leaving each other space at all. And honestly, I'm impressed everyone survived that. Everyone's still here, no one has damaged, but I think Drake Dempsey could have left a bit more space going into turn 3. He just fully pushed it wide. I don't know if that was due to the understeer, but I don't think it should have been. As Marvin Murray gets a 3-second time penalty, as well as Bill Bass, that's gonna really ruin their chances in the race. That is very unfortunate for Marvin Murray and Bill Bass. But let's see if maybe Ryan now with DRS can maybe overtake his teammate for the lead. I don't think he's close enough. Yeah, he is just gonna stay behind. I think now for the Red Bull strategy here, maybe it's good to play it safe. I think both of these Red Bulls have pretty equal pace, but you still have to account for Marvin Murray behind. You have to play the team game here. Someone has to take care of Marvin Murray, while the other Red Bull driver has to extend the gap. And then maybe afterwards, maybe switch around, help each other out. I don't know. I'm pretty bad with team plays as well. I'm bad at everything, according to that. But we see right behind the Alpine of Blur and the McLaren of Barry going side by side, as I think Barry went around the outside of Blur, taking a pretty free position for himself. Pretty interesting that he didn't do that previously, because he is on soft tires, he does have that advantage. But nonetheless, the move is done. And let's see if he can remain in P4. We're currently on lap 6 of 29. The pit window should probably open around lap 10 for the soft runners, lap 12 for the medium runners, and around, I don't know, 15 for the hard runners. I'm honestly not sure, as Marvin Murray and Ryan Gropp go side by side yet again, as Marvin Murray does finally overtake one Red Bull. Now he has the other Red Bull to overtake, and he didn't make it easy for him previously, so I don't think he's gonna make it easy now as well. As we see our first retirement of Bad Luke, I don't know what happened there, but he did retire on track. I don't know if he went into the pit lane, but he was on track. I'm not paying attention. I'm gonna say this for probably the 5th time today. I haven't commentated in months, and I'm having a hard time keeping track of everything. I really need to get back to the groove. Honestly, this battle ahead with Jake Dempsey, Murray and Ryan has got to be back into the groove. But let's go back a little bit with Enes getting a penalty, and he is retiring from the race. Thankfully in the pit lane, how the rules state, which is very good. Let's go back to the battle with Bill Bass and Pavlakovic. This battle has been going on for the entire race, so just both of them switching positions. Pavlakovic, of course, is on 6 lap of mediums, currently having the tire advantage over Bill Bass, who is on 6 lap of hards. But soon enough, those hards are gonna drop, or those mediums are gonna drop off pretty soon. As we see Bill Bass trying to go for a move down the inside of the hard driver, and he is gonna make it stick. Very clean move and very respectable. Very good. Let's see if Polakovic can stick with him. Even if he sticks, like, I don't know, just to 3 seconds, he's gonna get the advantage of the penalties. So that's all you really need. Possibly. I don't know. But no battles really happening behind. As I'm saying that, Crack and Adam Brashaw switching positions as Adam has overtaken the Mercedes driver for P9. I think Crack might be struggling a little bit, and as I'm saying of struggling, the Williams has a massive snap out of... that's probably turn 6? I don't know. Probably turn 6. But still ahead of Crack. As we have a yellow flag just entering sector 2, AlphaTauri of Mitch Snape. Very unfortunate indeed, but let's get to this battle once again. Let's see if Marvin Murr can finally overtake Dempsey, as he does get a little snap at the exit of the final corner. He is using ERS and DRS. Dempsey not defending, and he is gonna make it stick with a very clean and quick move. He takes the provisional lead of the race currently, but he is in the downside with that 3-second time penalty. So hopefully, at least for him, he can get those 3 seconds a gap to the Red Bulls, which I don't think he's gonna get. You can see Jake Dempsey just behind him. He's not gonna do anything. Oh, as Jake Dempsey makes a very big mistake, and I think that is gonna make Ryan overtake him, as both of them go side by side. This battle, if it continues, is not gonna be good for them, as Marvin Murr also makes a mistake. Oh, that was probably just lag, I don't know. But thankfully the Red Bulls didn't battle too much. If they did, that would cause a lot of time loss to the Mercedes driver. But at least now for Marvin Murr, he doesn't have any dirty air. One thing that I also forgot to mention in this game, dirty air is way more... oh no, it's way less profound actually. I think in the previous game it was like 15% dirty air if you were behind the car. Now I think it's only 10%. But I'm not sure. As we see Mitch Snape just going head first into the wall in turn 4. Not really how you want to retire, but if it works, it works. I'm not gonna judge him. But let's see here what's gonna happen. Ryan Grob not wanting to get close to this battle, but Dempsey nearly hitting the Mercedes of Murr. He's really trying to overtake him, it seems, and he also... well, okay, both Red Bulls have a lot of battery. So Marvin, you're basically screwed. That's the nicest way I can say this. But let's go behind a little bit with Bill Bass trying to close in his missed opportunity with that 5th place grid penalty in qualifying. I think he's one of the ones that actually has the most positions gained in this race. And it isn't it that... oh, I forgot about Joanne. Actually also having a 5 place grid penalty, starting last and currently in P11 and nearly in the points. So congratulations for him in that regard. And while we're watching this battle unfold with Bill Bass and Barry Kruger, Barry of course on softs, so those softs are probably gonna wear out. And speaking of wearing out, the pit window for Barry should open up pretty soon. So we are going to see if he's gonna do another cut, maybe an overcut, maybe a middle cut. We're gonna have to wait and see. But let's see if Bill Bass is gonna take the opportunity of the ERS, and the ERS, he has a lot of ERS to use, so that move is gonna be very easy indeed. Maybe he's gonna go for a double overtake, as Pavlakovic also wants to go for that move, and he makes it stick. Barry goes very wide, just leaving space for both of them, so he didn't really want a battle there. Or maybe he wanted to battle, but his tires just screwed him over. As Jake Dempsey gets a 3-second time penalty, as he goes side by side with... oh, what is happening here? People ghosting. I think we need to call Ghost Hunters in this stream, as Marvin Murr tries to go down the inside of Ryan Grob and makes a big snap at the exit of the corner and loses a lot of time. But now, as the things stand, Ryan Grob might actually win the race. because of the penalties that both Dempsey and Marvin have. If these guys keep squabbling, maybe they're even gonna lose positions to people behind, like the Alpine of Blur, Alfa Romeo of Bilbas, Haas of Pavlakovic. Maybe they're even gonna lose positions to them. This is chaos! Anyway, Marvin Murr is using ERS, and the ERS trying to close the gap to both of the Red Bulls ahead, but I don't think he's gonna be able to do it because the Red Bulls just have everything. Dempsey actually goes defensive to his teammate, defends the inside line. Is he gonna be able to make it stick as Ryan Grob tries to do a switchback and tries to go down the inside into turn 2, but there was nothing really that he could do, as behind we have Bilbas finally going into P4, overtaking Blur, who is on the same tires. Now it's all on Pavlakovic to follow him. I think Pavlakovic and Bilbas could be nearly the same pace. I'm not sure. I think Pavlakovic is a little bit slower, but I think he can follow him a bit close here. But of course, we're gonna have to wait and see. My controller DCs and it didn't go into AI. Very good, Mitch. Very good. That's why you charge your controller before the race, or at least run wired. And that doesn't happen. Or, I mean, it does happen. I think it's just very unfortunate for you. So I'm sorry that we had to see you retire. PC Campeón del Mundo. I don't understand that. I don't speak Spanish, I'm sorry. Anyways, let's see this battle again. Is Ryan Grob gonna try to go for the move again? Jake Dempsey is defending, pushing him all the way to the left. Well, not left, to the right. But he still has the inside line. They go side by side into turn 2. Is he gonna be able to make it stick? No! They nearly touch wings, or just cars, I guess. But thankfully no contact was made and everything was taken safely. Or by wheel? No, by a keyboard. Play this game with a keyboard. I don't see anything wrong with that. But I guess if you have a wireless keyboard, it could also disconnect quite a lot. Are there things as wireless wheels yet? I haven't really kept in line with the wheel companies and whatnot, but I don't know if they made wireless wheels yet, and pedals. That could be an interesting idea if it does happen, or if it's already made. I don't know. Mitch stole the controller of that damn sub. Probably. But let's not joke about that situation. That's a very unfortunate situation which could have been avoided 100%, 1000% even. It's just the incompetence of people. And what else can I say? But let's not talk about that right now, as Ryan Grob is finally gonna make that move for P1 on Drake Dempsey, or actually the move for lead. Which is very nice, and behind, Bilbas and Blur go side by side into turn 1 as well, leaving each other space very nicely, going very cleanly here, but Bilbas has the corner going into turn 2 and turn 3, so he remains in P4. Very nice defending from the Alfa Romeo driver, and a really good battle between both of them. Oh, we saw I was really just wanted to talk about pit stops, as Barry Kruger went the lap before, the one of the only soft runners actually in this race, pitting for Hearts. So he definitely is playing safe. He's gonna want to go to the end. And let's see when Cross Liam is gonna go into the pit lane, or just Liam Cross. Liam Cross, yeah. I think Liam's one of the only guys that I know from PS. Like I said, I haven't kept in line with PS guys at all. As we see another guy into the pit lane, it is a Aston Martin of Camelons, and Joanne has spun. Looks like those new hearts not working well for him, as Drake Dempsey is probably gonna make a move on Ryan Grob going into turn 1. They are going side by side. Oh, that's a nice switchback for Ryan Grob there. going into turn 1. But unfortunately he has the outside line into turn 2. Oh, but he does make contact as Dempsey gets another 3-second time penalty. Jesus, Dempsey is really in the wrong suit. Jesus, in the wrong suit here. As Ryan tries to make a dive bomb, then Dempsey gets a... Oh my god. Something went on my throat, I'm sorry. Jesus. I think I'm taking this way too seriously. I think I need water. Very good. This is not how I expected this to go. I'm gonna say this for the 6th time. I haven't commented it in months. Anyway, as I was saying, Dempsey, another 3-second penalty. Ryan Gropp, nearly a nice switchback. And Dempsey goes in! Dempsey goes in. This is very interesting. Very early for a hard runner. So he's definitely gonna go for mediums. Let's wait and see. And he does go for mediums as Blur follows him behind, and he is also gonna go for mediums. Wireless wheel pedal equals signal interference overload. Yes, definitely. Liam forgot to pit and forgot to QOTD. But he's not doing QOTD anymore. I thought that he was replaced with... I don't know who's doing QOTD now. Is my internet dead? My internet's fine! Yes! Let's go! It didn't die. Very happy. Okay, where was I? I thought my internet died, so I probably missed some action. Let's see here. Pavlakovic, oh, try to go on the move on Crack. That was a pretty desperate dive bomb, honestly, from the house driver, but he does make it stick. He did go on, or in the pit lane the lap before, so he does have that fresh tire advantage. And Barry still probably making quite a few mistakes, just like before with his early spin. As we see the leaders of Marvin Murr and Ryan Gropp going into the pit lane. Ryan Gropp goes on to mediums. Let's see what Marvin Murr is going to choose. It is gonna be hards. I mean, he doesn't really have anything else to choose. The softs really aren't an option, even though Liam is 13 laps in with softs, and that's how much is until the end. But I don't think it's really a good idea to go for softs, as it is gonna be close between Dempsey and Ryan Gropp. Oh, this is, oh my god! It is carnage between the Red Bulls. Big contact going into turn 1. I don't know if they just didn't see each other or they just don't care about each other, but I would be surprised if none of them have front wing damage. If that didn't give at least one of them front wing damage, I'm gonna be surprised. Like, Marvin Murr got such a horrible pit stop. Maybe he got a pipe laser with a red penalty, I honestly don't know. But they just probably screwed their chances if one of them has front wing damage. But looking at it, no one has front wing damage. So it's fine. But still, what are you doing, guys? Calm down. You literally have the 1-2 over here. I think they are just showing us what all of us want in real life between Verstappen and Perez, to just kill each other, and then we have a new winner. And that new winner, Alonso, of course. Which will probably never happen. If that were to happen, I think Red Bull would just fire Perez at the spot. As Bill Bass finally goes in. Oh, he also has front wing damage. Oh, that's a shame from Bill Bass. He does go on to medium tires. He is unfortunately gonna get overtaken by Pavlakovic and all of the guys that he was battling with. So that is quite a big shame, as Marvin Murr is getting really blocked by these guys ahead of him. So this is losing him even more time to the leaders. He's really not having a good time here, as Barry and Blur were squabbling quite a bit and he just couldn't find an opportunity to pass them. Ryan Grob gets a 3-second penalty, so he also gets another, but Drake Dempsey still has an additional 3 seconds. So it's still Ryan Grob's game, as Johan does get a 3-second time penalty, as well as Winartrix and Liam going to the mid lane. Liam, finally you're going to the mid lane. You're on 14 level tires, what are you doing? And it's even soft. He is doing a miracle. Ricardo and Verstappen 2018, definitely. Albano will become real. Alonso vs Lewis for wins would be fun to watch. I think it would have been fun, like in Canada, if Verstappen just retired and then we saw a massive Hamilton and Alonso battle. I'm only hoping for Red Bull's engine to die at least once. Once in the season. Speaking of dying, let's see if these two will die again. Let's see if Ryan Grove will go for the move once again. Dempsey goes defensive, defending the inside line, of course. Let's see if Ryan Grove is gonna do the switchback again, and unfortunately he doesn't. As Marvin Murr retires in the pit lane, that's a real shame. He already saw his chances slipping away, as I think Ryan Grove is actually trying to go for the move right outside, and thankfully backs out of it. You do not want to go here, but now that they have no competition, they can literally battle as much as they want. The only really competition here is Pavlakovic, which is, or who is, 6 seconds behind them. Still going side by side, both of them, Ryan Grove and Dempsey. Dempsey not leaving any space. Jesus Christ! This really is Ricardo and Verstappen 2018. That was a pretty big corner cut by Ryan Grove. He is gonna get a warning out of that. I'm honestly gonna be surprised if both of them finish today. Like, at this pace, Quill is gonna win the fucking race. Right, they go side by side in this part. This is not what you want to do here. Are they gonna leave each other space? They somehow do. What is happening? What are they to do? Oh, random space! And let's reset the track. You just screwed yourself, son. Both of you. And he gets... How did he get a 3-second time penalty? That is very interesting. But he is gonna overtake Pavlakovic for P2 once again, but literally, Quill, if you just don't get any penalties, you're even guaranteed a win. Which is insane. Dempsey has 5 seconds. 9 seconds! Quill, okay, I'm now rooting for Quill. Quill, you have to win this race. Quill, win. If Quill doesn't win, I am retiring. I'm of course just joking a little bit, but I'm just saying this might actually be possible. Speaking of penalties, let's run things off for the penalties a little bit. Dempsey has 9 seconds, Ryan Grove has 6 seconds, Barry has 3 seconds, Adam Brashaw has 6 seconds, Crack has 9 seconds, Joanne 11, Minantek 18, Camelon 6, and Loch 3, as Bill Bass retired. I think he crashed in like Sector 1, Turn 3. I don't know what happened there. No safety cars, however, which could have spiced things up, honestly. Pavlakovic could have had an even better chance to win, and now he even has a better chance now. He's not gonna get blocked by Ryan Grove, who hits the wall and probably gets damage, and he's probably gonna retire. 3, 2, 1. There we go, retirement. Nearly perfectly timed as well. So yeah, Pavlakovic can win. 8 laps remaining. I'm looking forward to this. Let's read the rest of the chat. Where did I left off? That's called foreshadowing, definitely. Aryan F'd it in the pit wall on the entry, very good. So nearly like Ryan Grove did now, but he did that intentionally. There is no way both Red Bulls finish the race. Well, one Red Bull DNF'd, the other is probably gonna win the race. He is extending a lot of what am I saying? Jesus. He's gonna extend the gap, that's what I wanted to say. Todorice! Yes. Is he even in the race? No, he isn't. Unfortunately. As for the win, definitely. I'm rooting for Haas here. Wojciech Kravitz. I don't know who that is. The safety car is of Dino. Oh, I didn't know that. But Dino's voice changed so hard. Yeah, I sounded like a little girl before, and now I still sound like a girl, but not like a little girl. Probably like a middle-aged girl. Probably. I don't know. Dino, you're gonna be sad when you see what the TM map was. Please don't tell me it was dirt. Because if it was dirt, I could have been in Division 3, probably. Please don't tell me it's dirt. Tony Richard reset the track. Ah, yeah. He'll need another 3 seconds penalty to win. Possibly. He is on hard. So it's a little bit of a far stretch. I think if Dempsey gets another 3-second time penalty, I think then maybe it could be guaranteed. But for now, I think Pavlakovic is good for getting a P2. I think he's just probably running safe, trying to not get any penalties, with him being one of the only ones to not get penalties, with Trix. And never mind, Trix gets a penalty, with Mike being the one to get a penalty. Why do I always jinx so hard? Like, I jinxed probably 3 times already in this race, maybe even more. I'm the jinx god. It had dirt in it, it was full speed. Oh no. I really thought it was gonna be a nice track today. We haven't seen ice in a while in Qatar today. It's honestly very interesting how long it's been. But if it's been full speed, probably Division 6 or 7 could have been good. All depends on how the track is. I'm gonna do the track after this commentary. I'm gonna do the track. I wanna see how it was. Caster Curse, definitely. I and Adam we cast the best curses, definitely. Me and Adam, when we were commentating together previously, we just jinxed everything. Or not jinxed, just predicted everything that would happen. Or just curse it. Why am I having so hard time to English? Even I said that sentence wrong. Ah! I am fine. I'm definitely fine. Let's finally watch a battle here, before I watch the chat a little bit more. Locke and Liam fighting for the last place is going side by side into turn 4. Actually leaving each other space more than someone in this race that I know. Like, this is so much cleaner than watching Dempsey, Ryan and Murr. I am enjoying this way more. And that was honestly a pretty nice move from Liam. Locke might go back at him, as he somehow gets a 3-second penalty by not even going outside the track. Or at least on my screen he didn't go out the track. Very interesting. But Liam still a pretty good overtake. Oh, he's losing a lot of speed in the Sector 3. Very interesting. Maybe it's the hards, but I think the hards at this stage should be better than the mediums that are on the Ferrari. As Winantex gets a 3-second time penalty, Liam just fully track extending the final corner. And not leaving a lot of space around the outside for the Ferrari driver. Let's see. That was a pretty easy move. And I'm not gonna even say anything else. Very easy. And with this being really the only battle that's happening, I'll take that. That was very nice between both of them. Very clean. Just don't watch the Red Bulls battle. Looks like some things haven't changed from Season 9, where it was carnage. Massive carnage between Dempsey, Tony, and others. As Liam tries to go around the outside yet again to the Ferrari. Is he actually gonna do a switchback? He is using ERS, he is thinking of it. Is he gonna be able to make it sick? No, unfortunately. This is not really the space where you wanna go inside. There she gets another reset. Okay, Quill might actually win this race. And then he gets another penalty. You cannot script this race. You cannot script this. If Quill wins, I don't know what I'll do. This is insane. Like 4 laps remaining. I think the hards should be in a pretty good stage right now to the mediums. The only problem is Drake is an esports driver. Quill is not. That you'll see the problem here. But let's see if Liam is gonna go for another overtake before turn 1. Very clean and very good. Pretty clean. Oh, Locke was looking to do a little switchback, but I think Liam just closed the door there. So nothing really that he could do there. It's not my fault that I'm psychic. Yes, you are. Yes, you are, Adam. It's not your fault. But I love that you're psychic. It just makes commentating a lot more fun. Honestly, in my opinion. You're just psychic. Oh, lock spins! No! Well, you're not gonna see any more battles at the end. No battles are gonna be happening, unfortunately, until the end, with 3 laps remaining. Paul runs hella low wings here. Maybe that's why he's losing quite a bit of time in sectors 1 and 3. Not 1 and 3. Actually 1, 2 and 3. He's losing a lot of time in every sector if he's running low wings. Oh, that is track extend. Okay, we have to check how many warnings he has, and I cannot because it's fucking blank. Sorry, effing. I didn't curse. Definitely. I didn't curse. You didn't hear anything. Definitely not. I'm just... okay. I'm honestly just mad how this game is very buggy. And we're probably not gonna see any fixes of these bugs soon. If at all. Like, I love how the whole F122 era was basically them fixing bugs, and then 3 more bugs at that one patch just came along. So they fixed like 5 bugs, 3 more came along, and basically all of them stayed on this game. Because we're waiting for this to finish, let me give you a rundown of this game. So you tell me if you want to play this game and buy this game or not. 2-player co-op is bugged. So basically equal performance is stuck if you don't know how to fix it. Honestly, the fix is not too hard, actually. Red flags, the main feature, is bugged. It's glitched. So basically, you can get a red flag, and it's gonna either give you another red flag after the restart, or after you finish the race, it's gonna count the positions before the red flag, or at when the red flag was called out. You saw here, race director not accessible. Track limits still buggy, so still if you like run wide or just make a mistake, if you're like outside the track, like in Austria for example, and you drive 20 kilometers an hour, even 5 kilometers an hour, you're still gonna get double penalties, even more now actually. So that's another bug. In career, you can get a infinite virtual safety car glitch. Basically, the virtual safety car is gonna go every 2 laps if a player retires, because he's just gonna be stuck on track, and they're gonna not remove his car. And I don't know if that's also on multiplayer, but I don't know. Yes, formation lap is broken too. I mean, not hugely. It works. It's just the tires that are not really that great. and many more bugs, which I'm not gonna say anymore, because we're on the final lap of the Grand Prix, and I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed that Jake Dempsey gets another penalty, so I see Quill winning this race. But we are gonna run this final lap on board with Jake Dempsey to actually provoke him get that penalty. Alpha Language battling, but Blur, that's not a good sign, probably. He's gonna even be behind 15 seconds. Because of that battle, that's quite a bit of a shame. Oh, Dempsey made a mistake going into, I don't actually know what turn that is, probably turn like 6, 7, maybe 8, maybe 9, I don't know. But makes a little mistake, doesn't lose any time because of that, which is very interesting. And let's see, running it pretty safely, not doing anything at all. Oh, big snap! Maybe we could have seen a spin there. As talking of spins, Blur has bottled it. So he is not gonna be in P2 at the finish line, but he, even if he was ahead of Quill, Quill doesn't have any penalty, so he's still gonna benefit out of that. But we still run aboard with Jake Dempsey as he is about to cross the finish line and win the welcome race of Euro in Qatar. Congratulations, Dempsey. Very good race from you. Still a little bit dirty battling against your teammate, but honestly, you cannot be a top driver if you're not a little bit dirty. Next up to cross the line is Quill Pavlakovic. Unfortunately, so close to the win, yet so far, but still a P2 against some of the fastest drivers in Euro. He is gonna be very happy about this for sure. Blur has run out of fuel, so it's a question if he's gonna finish on the final step on the podium or if he's gonna be overtaken by Adam Brashaw. I think he's just gonna make it. He is gonna finish on the podium. Let's see, Adam Brashaw. He's gonna cross the line in P4, but penalties maybe? No. He stays P3. Barry goes to the podium. How many penalties did Blur and Adam have? That's very interesting. Trix crossed the line in P6, Joanne in P7. I think is yet to cross the line. Mike is in P8, Liam in P9, Winantek in P10, Cameron's in P11, Loch in P12, Crack in P13, Ryan Group in P14, Bebas P15, Mur P16, Snape P17, NS P18, and Bad Luke in P19. So, honestly, my thoughts of this race, pretty solid. Honestly, not too bad. For a welcome race and the first race of Euro in the 2023 game, I will take that. We saw a lot of carnage, not too many battles, but I think overall this race was pretty interesting. Not gonna lie. As we see, Jake Dempsey very happily lifting his own flag, and you can see he's very happy to take the trophy. And yeah, advanced attack also goes to Adam Brashaw, so he is gonna take another point. I think he actually went for soft, so that's maybe why he got that point. And I still cannot see the incidents. Very good. So you're not gonna have the juicy stuff. You're not gonna see how many warnings Jake Dempsey got, unfortunately. Which is a shame. But I think we should have enough time to maybe do some interviews. Maybe. I don't know. Let me check. Yeah, okay, we have enough time. So let's see. Who was top 3? I already forgot. Drake, Barry, I believe, and of course, Will. I think it was Barry. Was it Barry? I need to check that. Was it Barry? I think it was better. Yeah. Okay. So we do have a little bit of time for the interview. Oh, you're already here. Oh, that's very nice. I didn't even notice. I'm very sorry. Anyways, welcome to the interview. Thank you for coming. We're gonna start off with you, Drake, if you don't mind.
That's alright.
So, the first race of Euro and the first race on the 2023 game, and you already take the win. You had a pretty close battle there with both Marvin Murr and your own teammate Ryan Grob. So can you explain us a little bit more about that battle? And it was looking pretty spicy, in my opinion.
Yeah, we were just trying to have our fun out there, I'll just say. Yeah, I got a little sketchy. Just say that when you have no idea about what a track has its little... How? Let me just restart.
It's all good.
When you're not really sure about the track, it's not gonna have good results, let's just say.
Yeah, of course. It's honestly to be expected. And speaking of the new track, what are your opinions on the new Qatar circuit? Of course, it's also laser scanned, one of the only tracks to be laser scanned. So, what are your opinions? Should it be on the calendar next season, or is it not a good track at all?
I don't think it's fine. It'll be better at night, of course, because it just looked uncanny in the day. But
I like the look of daytime Qatar. You can actually see all of the brake marker boards.
yeah, well, that's weird. Anyways, yeah, I mean, if I'm more confident with the setup, felt like my rear was on oil. Speaking of oil, where's oil? I was American. Regardless, I mean, it's a fun track to drive, so maybe with more time and experience on it, it'll be even better. Feel? I don't know.
Maybe, of course. And the final question for now, I already mentioned you took the win. If you do sign up for next season in Season 10, is this probably something that we should expect? Maybe more wins from you?
Yeah, look, I know, you never know what's gonna happen out there. I could bin it, like I almost wanted to after I got 12 seconds of time penalties. That wasn't my best performance.
Well, thank you very much for the interview. I really appreciate it. Let's move on to you, Quill. Honestly, with where you started, being very close to take the win, I think you've got to be pretty happy about that.
I think it's just sad because I tend to be a bit of a social race nut, and not winning this is just making me sad.
Well,
Like dropping out of DRS of the lead group, that was depressing. Arjen Bilbas was taking some time to acclimatise to the track. And then Vanessa when we caught up to P4 and P5. And then it was basically just sitting in DRS on the old mediums and boxing for hards, getting a massive undercut. As you always do in this game. And then just driving 15 laps in clean air. And then the fuel, because I had forecast a few more laps in dirty air than we got. So with like 7 laps to go, I realised I was plus 0.4 in fuel, and that was when I realised I am completely screwed. So I had to do some lift and coast to try and equalise the fuel. That was chill. The only warning I took was on purpose to keep someone out of DRS for that additional lap so they could run out of fuel.
Interesting. I mean, you basically already mentioned everything I really wanted to ask you, so for the final question, I'm gonna ask you the same as the Drake Dempsey. What do you think about the new Qatar circuit? Should it be on the calendar or not?
I think it is a very good circuit to drive, personally. Just saying. Also, the DRS is quite strong, so it's interesting. Because the advantage of being behind in DRS is that you get to save fuel, but the disadvantage is that your engine temps go up. So if you can't follow 2 tenths behind someone through the first and second sector because you'll just overheat the engine, and then you'll be a sitting duck on the straight, so you need to back off and close back in with the high speed stuff, because there's basically no dirty air in this game compared to the slipstream.
Yeah.
So that's what you want to do. And also it would have been nice to have a bit more battles, because the person sitting behind me ran out of fuel, which was a bit of a shame, because I was saving the battery, because the run out of the final corner to the finish line is very long, which is quite unusual for an F1 track. So I was saving the battery for the end of the final lap, which I think is something that most people haven't realised that you need to do. Also, you don't save any battery in clean air, which is also interesting.
Mm.
You need to really be very patient on it.
That is very interesting.
Yeah, it's a shame that Arjen retired from the race. I think that could have been an interesting battle. Also, the tyre wear was quite high compared to the projections. The hards were wearing faster than the mediums are according to the strategy screens, so that could have span in the works, I guess. And also the wear was higher than a race I did here yesterday, although that had a few safety cars. Actually, just had 2 virtual safety cars, but I guess I was in dirty air, and when you're in dirty air, you have to back off a few tenths for the engine temps. You put less energy into the tyres, so I think this is a track where you just want to be sitting in second for the majority of the race. And then end of penultimate lap, maybe. I'm not sure if you want to do it penultimate lap or final lap, where you want to actually overtake. Just sit on 100 battery in second is probably going to be the meta.
I mean, we did see that a lot with the battle that was going on between Drake, Mur, and Rangrob, so that might be a
Yeah,
good
it's
choice.
a shame. I think if I didn't boss my final quali lap, I could have been in that battle and then in the DRS, because Arjen was really slow at the start of the race.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Quill, for taking the interview. Barry is unfortunately not gonna join us, but I just wanna thank you both again for taking your time to do the interview. You guys have a good one, and congratulations on your positions once again.
Cheerio.
And as that is over, we are going to finish this stream as well. Oh, this was an interesting one, honestly. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed as much as I did. Before we end things off, I am first actually going to say that if you enjoyed the stream, please leave a like. You are also going to find our partners in the description: Gridfinder, Baldomania, Discord, and JR Designs, so you can check all of those descriptions. Speaking of Discord, you can also join Eero for Season 10. We are currently open in signups, so if you liked what you saw today and you want to be a part of it, like I said, Season 10 signups are open. They are some of the easiest in Eero history, so it will only take you a little bit to sign up. And if you're not happy with your times, you can send an improvement later on when you feel confident about it. Then you can also support us on Patreon, you can donate to us, you can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We do post a lot of the race results if you're interested in those. If you don't have enough time to watch the races, we post on those links. We post all of the race results, of course. Mainly of the top tiers, but we are looking to head into lower tiers as well. And that's about it. So yeah, my name is Kickerlin. Hopefully you have enjoyed the stream, and I will see you for next time in Eero, probably when Season 10 starts, or maybe before, for the debut race. See you then, and have a good night.